Meta has turned your Quest into a scanner capable of creating 3D scenes that are almost indistinguishable from reality. But what if I tell you that this is only one of the ways you can experience photorealistic scenes? Today, I will show you 5 free apps that allow you to step into animated performances, visit real-world locations all over the globe, spawn giant, ultra-realistic insects in your room, and even create and explore entire worlds generated with AI. Stay with me for the whole video because I will explain what is the secret that makes these apps so special, share a trick to get any link from your phone to your headset fast, and also how to create your own scenes with the Quest, your phone, or nothing at all. Let's start with Hyperscape. It was announced at MetaConnect to showcase the capabilities of the Horizon engine. While on stage, I was also quite surprised because Mark didn't mention the 2 main reasons why Hyperscape had so many people excited. But let me show you how to get the app and scan your environment first. To get the Hyperscape Capture, you can just go to the store, type Hyperscape, and at this point you will find 2 apps, the Hyperscape Preview and Hyperscape Capture. Hyperscape Preview is the legacy app, where also some of your older scans, if you have done any, will be. The new app is called Hyperscape Capture, and this allows you to not only scan and recreate and capture your space, but also to invite other people. So I suggest you to go to Hyperscape Capture. That is also the link that you will find in the episode description. I suggest you, before starting the capture, to use a small piece of tape to block the proximity sensor. I will show you why in a bit. Scanning is quite straightforward and it happens in 3 steps. Capture the perimeter of the room, scan specific details at a higher resolution, and finish up with the ceiling. To capture those details at different height, you can, thanks to the piece of tape, remove your headset to capture high or low portion of your environment and increase the quality of the final scan. After you're done, you wait several hours and here you are. The details in the scene are absolutely incredible, and you see how certain details, like for example, the reflective surfaces, are actually captured in a way that meshes simply cannot. Another thing that is usually also very hard to capture in this scene is things like text. And you see how here, even like smaller text, it's pretty readable. Plants as well and leaves look so real, and I just wish I could touch them and they could see them moving around, but for the rest, they look absolutely real. And some like these little scenes, they are somehow really almost impossible to distinguish from reality. But what can you do with the space that you have created? So unfortunately, it is not possible to export the file. But on the other hand, you can invite other people. So you can select people to invite within the list of contacts that you have in Meta Horizon, send them an invite and have them join in space. At any moment, you can reset the access and revoke the permission to everybody that you have invited. If you don't want to invite people in your scan, you can always explore and visit this that have now become standard, so to say, Horizon worlds. So you can just go and visit and meet other people that might be exploring the world. And once you're in this space, the level of immersion in this photorealistic scenes is absolutely incredible. You will be able to interact, talk to other people, and of course, unfortunately, do not grab or interact with objects. This is certainly a limitation at this moment, but it gives you a glimpse of what will be the possibility once more spaces become available. The first thing that Mark didn't mention on stage, and the reason that many people, me included, got excited, is that what you see here is not a 3D mesh, but a Gaussian splat. Gaussian splats are like point clouds, but instead of points, you have squished spheres, also called ellipsoids, with different properties like size, color, transparency, orientation, and more, that also change based on what you look at. This makes it possible to reconstruct a full scene, including reflective or shiny surfaces that other capturing technique simply cannot deal with. The other reason this is so exciting is that rendering splat on a standalone headset is quite challenging, but not for Hyperscape, which render each frame on the cloud and streams it to your headset instead of downloading and rendering the splat on your device. On top of that, the app predicts your head movement a few milliseconds ahead and only renders the part of the scene you are about to look at, instead of the whole environment. But the technology behind Gaussian splatting is evolving fast. Compression is improving and there is a new hot file format in town, making viewing this photorealistic scene in headset a reality. But I'm going ahead of myself, and let's now look at the second app for something more dynamic, and I mean it literally. Gracia is the sponsor of the video, and for a good reason. It is the only app that allows you to experience photorealistic animated Gaussian splatting on a standalone headset. The library of experiences available on Gracia keeps growing, and they range from trainings to sport performances, musical, fashions, and more. Unlike Hyperscape, you have to download the file before playing, at least for now. If there is one that sparks your interest, you can just click on it and then launch it in VR. The experience is truly remarkable, and you can see how reflection and tiny detail like the string of the cellos are actually perfectly captured. Also, other details, for example, like hairs that are extremely hard to capture, are preserved and visible when you are in 3D. And at any moment, you can pause the performance, mute, unmute it, and also scrap to see it and progress in time. And there are many other features in the Gracia app. For example, you can experience this in mixed reality and have the performance play out in your room. You also got the option to lock the position or, for example, unlock the scales. So you can, for example, scale it, make it bigger, move it out, and then have the performance play really wherever you want. The team has worked hard to make sure that this works flawlessly and also takes advantage of the MetaQuest features. That's why there are additional settings, like for example, the ability to use exclusively your hands. And so this means that even without controllers, you can simply scale it, move it, and rotate the scene and position it in space. And of course, interact with the menu. Another very powerful feature that enhance the experience and the immersiveness of the scene is the environmental depth. This means that by hovering with your hand, the object and the scenes will be occluded dynamically. For example, like putting it behind this wall is going to result in having the performance partially covered and occluded by the wall that you see. And this shows many ways in which technically anybody can integrate this experience into their VR apps and use and take advantage of these features offered by Meta. The team has been working on the whole tech stack to make animated Gaussian splatting viewable in VR and accessible to other developers. With the most recent compression improvements, files have now just reached 1 GB per minute, and the Unity SDK makes it possible to import compressed animated splats in your Unity project, compose it without a 3D asset, and use it as part of your experience. On top of this, the support for web GPU and streaming is around the corner, making viewing animated splats in VR not that different from a YouTube video. If you want to know more about the capturing and processing, you should reach out directly to the team and get access to their cloud-based infrastructure and Gracia Studio. This will allow you to upload your footage and turn it into an animated splat that you can clean up, color grade, audio sync, and overall process for any other Hollywood-grade VFX application. At this point, if you're still with me, I think you should check out the XRI Spotlight newsletter for two main reasons. First, by subscribing, you get a comprehensive list of all apps to experience Gaussian splatting on Quest or Vision Pro directly in your inbox. And second, you can read dozens of in-depth interviews with founders and makers at the intersection of XR and AI, including leading figures in the space like Will Escott, founder of PlayCanvas and the mind behind the most powerful web-based editing tool for Gaussian splatting, Supersplat. Coming up later. Jack Wang, the founder of Kitty Engine, Holly Huttunen, one of the most skilled creators in the 3D space, and more. To check it out, just click the first link in the episode description. The next app I want to show you is Scaniverse. Once you're in Scaniverse, you will be on top of this magnificent air balloon and literally be able to travel the world to experience scans that people have created. You can use the B button to zoom in different sections at different heights on the map, and then move even with your thumbstick. Once you have found a scan that you want to explore, you can click and then enter inside the scene. The experience in VR is actually great. You can go up and down with the thumbstick as well as move left and right, given the best navigation experience that you can have on an app that allows you to explore Gaussian splatting. At any moment, you can go back to the world map, pushing A, and then zoom out and keep exploring. To have a broader reach and example of spaces, you can also go to the Discover panel, and this will allow you to enter some less curated scans. Make also be careful because some of these might not be optimal or, let's say, optimized for the VR headset, so you might encounter some issue. But at this point, the world is your oyster, and you can see how many of these scans are in some parts of the world, like, for example, Japan. So far, I'll show you how you can create splat with your Quest, and now it's time to use your phone. Download the Scaniverse app on Android or iOS and follow the instruction to scan. Move slowly around the object and scan at different heights. What is truly remarkable about Scaniverse is that the processing happens not on the cloud but on your device. After the processing is done, you can publish the scan but also view it in VR. You will need to couple the device to the mobile app using a code, and then you're good to go. And once you have done with that, you can go to My Splats and you will see them automatically synchronized. Now you can pick one, but word of warning, this scan hasn't been optimized for VR use and may have performance issue. So be careful when you scan, don't make too much of a big scans, and in general, just be mindful of the experience when you go into the uncurated section as well as explore your own. Let's move on, because it is now the time to reveal how to get giant insects in your space, a life-saving hack if you want to send any URL to your headset, and the secret file format that makes 3D Splat smaller than an image. The tool I want to show you is Supersplat. If you want, you can do everything within your headset. You can just go to your browser and then type Supersplat. And once you are here, what I suggest you to do is to order the splat based on size. This will make sure that you have already the smallest scan and you can start exploring them your own. Now, when it comes to giant insects, the best way to go about it is copy one of the link in the episode description and using hmd.link. After you made sure both devices are connected to the same network, paste the link and you will see directly appear in the headset. Like this. And what you need to do is go a bit on the edge, browse a little bit down, and then you have the option to view this in VR or in augmented reality. And there you have it. This looks incredible. These details, like for example, the wings and the hairs, the details on the leg, reflection on the eyes, it is absolutely surreal to see an insect at this scale. You can move around and use the trigger on your right controller to teleport. You can even use the controller thumbstick to snap turn, as well as using the left controller for smooth locomotion. I've also been told by the team that the opportunity to scale the insect is coming, so stay tuned for that. There has been a growing amount of high-quality scans that are extremely small thanks to this new file format called SOG, which turned a 1 GB PLY into a 42 MB scene, and it all happens within Supersplat editor. Supersplat offers a powerful editor to clean and manipulate your scan, and if you want to know more about the apps to create these scans like Scaniverse, check out my video where I make a full comparison with various tools available on the market. The link is also in the episode description. And now it's time to reveal the third and in my opinion craziest app on the list, and how you can generate splat with just an image. It is called Marble, and you can go to the website and explore in VR hundreds of AI generated worlds based on Gaussian Splatting. Once you are in Marbles from World Labs, you can explore any of these worlds natively. You can just pick one that inspires you and enter inside. And before it loads and disappears, click on Open in VR. This will make sure that the world is optimized for the headset. Click on a button, and here you are. At this point, I have to warn you, because you can use the left thumbstick to move forward and backwards and around, but as soon as you use the right thumbstick to try to snap turn, then you might be in for hell of a ride. And one thing that is fascinating when you enter in these worlds is not only how the 3D has been created, but how the AI has somehow managed to fill in the blank. So all the information that was not provided in the image and that are still present and visible and part of the environment to create what is actually a coherent and believable scene. This also means that to generate your own world, the only thing you have to do is submit an image and click generate. After a while, the world is ready and you can open it in and view it in VR. The VR viewer also supports hand tracking, so I can imagine that more is coming, but for now you cannot move, so I would recommend still sticking with controllers. Let's be honest, this is just scratching the surface of what Marble can do, and a deep dive into the many ways you can generate worlds with the AI is beyond the scope of this video, at least for now. Subscribe to the channel, check out the newsletter to access 10 more incredible apps and tools to experience Gaussian Splatting in VR, and if you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like. Till next time.